Yeah. So just looking at this real quick, um, again, I'm pretty sure this is the most recent. Uh, so you can see there was a big dump that came out because of what happened. They actually managed to pump the price up back to 20 cents for anyone who wanted to exit at cost. Most likely a whale who had large position that wanted to get out. I see this a lot of the time when pumping. I mean, it doesn't take much to pump on Uniswap. You can see here that the liquidity is only 850K. So if you have a vested interest to get out, then you'll definitely perform that vested interest. Where we're at now, though, is kind of we're back in this initial decision, kind of breaking these buy supports that had happened from the 18th to the 28th, and now it's consolidating. I don't think that it's stopped. Again, it's a niche product. So how much is that really worth? Not to mention the lockups that are out there. So there's float right now. It's saying the fully diluted cap is 12 million. A lot of the times I'll come here. This is a nice little tip for people who are in the DeFi space. So you got to come to the page where it actually shows the address. It'll show you holders, and I can see here that 66.7% of the token is locked up in some sort of contract. This is probably the contract that has the locked tokens in it, right? This is 17%. That's very abnormal compared to the rest. This is probably a team tokens contract. And then you have Uniswap, which will round it out to 20%. So 86% of the tokens are locked, which I always am concerned about because that's just future float that you have to worry about. So unless a market turns around, then it's not really worth getting in. But the point of this exercise is that the rest of this is 14% being held by holders, and a majority of these holders don't hold more than 1% of the supply. We can see that there's 927 holders, which is really good. You're trying to see more than 2 to 250 holders at minimum. So there's a lot of dispersed holders, etc. If we take this market cap and multiply it by 14% to get the circulating market cap off of this 13 million fully diluted, you actually come to about 1.8. And I would say like any project that's even stable is probably between 1 to 1.3. So you're really not that far off from the bottom. But from a technical perspective, you need to let this play out. It's a very high risk investment. It's in a niche field. It could be something that appears in the next wave of projects where people are more bullish on DAOs, right? So I think it's a cool project, and it's a project from someone who I know who's actually developing something. It's not an anon project. They have a ton of liquidity here. They got to get this volume up. They got to get over to a centralized exchange, probably get a market maker of some sort if they choose to go that route. Either way, because this liquidity will eventually get ate through, right? That's the downside of Uniswap.
Bill,
I've
any other
this larger conversation.
thoughts to add to that?
Yes, I have it here. Okay, so check me, gentlemen. I think I got the right symbol here. So with this, I talked about the Uniswap moon formation, which was, a triangle and then a square and then up. And then in these cases where these coins have to make a base or, go through kind of like it died and then gets resuscitated, are these like double spikes, right? So you have the spike here, and then you have another spike, and then there's a possibility that people may give up on this thing into support, right? It's like the last coin that we're at, right? If you see the capitulation, then that's the opportunity to get in, right? I don't really see the consolidation here to like go for an up move. It's kind of like you let it drop and then it's a punt, if you will.
All right. Thank you, Bill. So tell us what you think down in the comments below.